He is touching his ass, but there's no lip like it. His hand is on his ass. Why?
And then
It's Frank Bruno's hand. Frank Bruno touching your hand. Frank must have liked him.
You must have a long arm.
starts choking on Skittles. So I'm just looking at my phone here.
Change what you do. No, but then you're like, you've got to wear a fucking butt. I did episode 5 with Nathan Forrest, Northern Area champion, 12-0 as a pro, and newly turned pro George Peacock is how many national champions?
Twice.
2 times national champion, 9 times time days and weight champion. He's just signed with Steve Woods at VIP. On my left, we've got Hal back on the podcast from the OGs. Started off with Hal, but he's come back on. He's just joined Barnard Castle Boxing Club with these 2 lads, so I thought it was appropriate to get him on and get him back involved in episode 5. But for the audience, Nathan, obviously we go way back. I've known you since we were kids, boxing a few shows, not together when I was just starting out in boxing. Before this podcast, obviously we'll just act like I didn't know you, like fresh slate. And obviously George,
Fair about me.
I've only really known George since I started doing this. Obviously your background and stuff like that, but we'll just go along with it. This episode mainly is about the misconception of professional boxing. I thought what better time to get us both on. Nathan, you're obviously experienced, 12-0 now. George is just turning over. I thought it was a good time to get us both on.
Do you want me to talk him out of it before he's had his debut?
Aye, that's what it's about really. Just for the people who think about turnover or want to turn over and stuff like that. Obviously, your experience, you've been through it. You've had different experiences, I do believe, in ticket selling, the business side of it. So I thought it's good for you to get on with George, one of your teammates, and obviously with Hal as well, because he's thinking about turnover in a couple of years. And it's also good just to talk about what that's been like, because I used to coach all the children and he moved to Barney, and I've not really had the update on how he's been getting on, so I thought I'd leave it for this. But we'll go into it. With this, let's say it's about you lads, it's all about you lads, about his experience, not just boxing. Talk about family life, your upbringing, how he's came about getting in the gym, the struggles you've had, the up times, the down times, everything. It's for people who's potential ticket buyers who's going to come and see your box, especially for you, George.
Yeah.
It's about them getting to know who you are as people rather than just seeing what you do in the ring. So that's what we'll go into. I'd say I've known you, Nathan, from when we were
young teens. Like young teens, weren't it?
Yeah.
Wasn't it? It'll be like mid-teens.
Yeah, I remember a few of the shows. I think we boxed on a show in Sunderland together.
Plains Farm.
Plains Farm, that's the one. Is that even still going, that,
Don't know, to be honest. I don't know.
It's Plains Farm, but
I know the coach, one of the main coaches there. He died a few years ago.
Right.
He wasn't that old, to be fair, and I'm not sure if the gym carried on without him or whether they merged with another gym or what. But I'm not too sure on that one.
Aye, I remember that show. I don't know if there's any more, but might have been one of Ferry Hill. I'm sure we boxed on one of Ferry Hill. But anyway, that was way back when. Back, I think it was 2016, 17, and then obviously I joined the army and stuff like that. But you kind of stuck to your roots, I do believe. But you went. How many fights did you have as an amateur? Was it 20 odd? 20, 30
I had 27 in the
27.
end. Yeah, 27 in the end, but 20 of them was a senior.
Right.
So you only had 7 as a junior. I had maybe like 3 as a junior, and then 4 as a youth.
Yeah.
Because most lads my age and weight had already had 20 odd. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was I get matched at the start, and then as soon as I turned senior, there was loads of lads about for us to box. So
I remember it was. I think I had the conversation with you at one point that you always wanted to turn pro, and then I remember you boxing like Ben Marksby and that, and I was thinking, because you jumped straight in the deep end, you know what I mean?
Sure.
I was on the Darwin ABC show, wasn't it?
Ben, anyone who knows Ben, he had a lot of fights when he boxed you. You know what I mean?
I think you had you've had close to 100 fights.
Yeah.
Like won a good few national titles and that. Top lad Ben. I'm proud of them now, to be fair. We boxed as amateurs. it'll have been I've only had 19 fights or something like that. Ben had a lump of time off out of it. I'd obviously been boxing as a novice in the developments and stuff like that, and Ben come back to box as a senior. They'd asked a few lads in the region if they wanted to box him, and then they'd asked us, and we'd said yes straight away. And there was a couple of coaches in the region had actually spoke to me and spoke to Craig and said, "Oh, use a game taking that fight." And like, yeah, fair enough, Ben top lad, but like we had full belief in myself, and it was a good bout. There wasn't a lot in it. A few people talked about that bout for a while afterwards, and there wasn't a lot in it. Ben won it on points, but there wasn't a lot in it whatsoever, and it sort of showed me that I am at that level. So, or I was at that level at the time, and then after that, I just went on to box anyone and everyone.
Yeah. Did you box
after
Mark?
that?
Am I wrong? I think you boxed Mark. Megan.
No, I didn't box Mac. No,
Ben boxed Mac though, didn't he? I'm sure he did.
Yeah, I think Ben maybe's boxed them when they were teenagers, when they were maybe 15, 16-year-old or something like that.
Yeah.
But no, I shared a lot of rounds sparring with Mac McMegan. Maybe he's talking 2018 or something like that. Did a lot of round sparring because Mac come back to box as a senior for Bishop Auckland.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So we were going down every week, sometimes twice a week, sparring. So we shared a lot around sparring, but no one ever boxed.
I've always been in Barney, which is I know it's closest to where you're from, but it's always, you've been quite loyal to that gym from when you first went into the gym. I think it's the first gym you went into, and it's the gym that you stayed at when you did turn over. Now not many people do. Some people do change gyms and that.
But it's not actually the first gym I went into, to be fair. When I was a kid, I'd went to Shildon Boxing Club, obviously, where you trained and boxed for, and Hal, you boxed for them as well.
Is that because obviously your older brother Caden did?
Yeah, so when my dad actually boxed for Aycliffe years ago, my dad
full circle.
Full circle. So my dad boxed for Aycliffe. Obviously that'll have been in the 70s. My dad boxed for them. My dad got to the schoolboy final. Didn't have a lot of bouts, but he got to the schoolboy final through winning one a year, getting a bag here, and he got there. And then my brother boxed for Shildon. And then I got took there as a kid. Maybe went a little bit when I was 10, 11 year old, packed in. Not that I packed in, but I was doing that many sports as a kid. I did everything. My mum worked at the sports centre, so I was doing, in the summer holidays, I was doing trampoline and rock climbing, mountain bike and this, that and the other, swimming and all the rest of it. And then sort of stopped and started, and obviously living on farms and stuff like that, I was horse riding or doing this or doing that. So I'd gone for a bit and didn't stick at it, but through no fault of my own. Sometimes I look back and I think I wish my mum or dad had said no, this is what we're doing, son. But on the other hand, I was just given the option of whatever I wanted to do. And then maybe went and did a bit more when I was 12 or 13. And then I went, Barney Gym opened in 2012, and my mum was sort of from Barney.
Has Craig always been? Did he found it?
Craig. It wasn't Craig who founded the gym, but Craig was a big part of it being founded. It was actually a bloke called Sean from Sunderland who moved over to Barney, and he had a lot to do with Sunderland Amateur Boxing Club. So he'd helped sort of the lads who were into boxing in Barney, so helped them set the club up because there was no boxing club in Barney. So when So like I say, my mum was from Barney, used to go and see my grandma there, and my mum lived there for a bit. I used to go and train up there a bit, and then stopped, and then went back to Shildon for a little bit, and then when I was in my last year of school, I decided, the boxing's what I want to do. I was sort of, when you get to 15, 16 year old, you sort of, you get to choose what you want to do instead of just your parents giving you the options. So that's when I sort of decided, that's what I wanted to do. I got my apprenticeship in Barney. Obviously I went to school in Darlington, got my apprenticeship in Barney because that's where my mum was living, and then said, as soon as I leave school, I had my first bout in my last year of school, to be fair, so I was going through there all the time, training 3 nights a week, and then I had my first bout in my last year of school. But yeah, I've stayed loyal to them because why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? 100%. And a few people said to me before, people who's experienced in boxing, like, or lads who boxed, had quite a few bouts as amateurs, said it was, oh, would you not be better off at a better gym? Would you not be better off going to such and such gym or such and such gym? I said, no. Why would I? Oh, like, you're good, like, you could do with being in a better gym. Like, yeah, I'm good because I've had the time put into us at Barney.
I think
Craig's put that much time into me.
Different experiences, because obviously you've been about, you've different gyms and that, but if it works for you, it works for you, do you know what I mean? I mean, for your experience, it didn't work for you at Aycliffe, and then you came over to Shildon, started working for you, and then you needed to adjust again, and you found your feet.
It wasn't really that. It was like when I moved from Shildon, it was more like where I wanted to go in boxing. Coming to Barney would benefit me more than staying at Shildon. Like, there's nothing against Shildon, it's a good gym. But where I want to go in boxing, I think it would be better to go.
It's like who you're going to train alongside, isn't it?
Exactly.
But like through Barney, like, we're a close, tight knit gym, aren't we?
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, it's class.
Like, there's been, like, I've been in the gym years, you've been in the gym years, obviously Dan Jackson's been in the gym years. Like, us three, we've been all over the country together. Like,
Charlotte.
And obviously, like my Mrs. Charlotte is, like, obviously she went on to win a national title herself. So, like, there was, like, obviously Craig and Richard, like, we were a tight knit family in a tight knit close gym. There's no drama in the gym. There's very little disagreements. Like, we have crack and we have the odd debate and that, but we all just get on. We all have the same.
I think it helps where
you're laughing because of some of the deep conversations we get into.
You get me started.
But they are just debates. We have good crack. We do have good crack in the gym.
I think it's where it is as well, because you obviously have Shildon, Aycliffe, Bishop. They all, like, say, like, in their own kind of area. They're not far from each other. But Barney's just, I would just say, like, just outside of that. So
we're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, like, explains why you don't have shows and that, because it's just that tight knit group. And the focus is to just get out and box, not necessarily put on a big show like all the other clubs. But how, obviously you've been there from the start, Nathan. I know, George, you might have been a young lad. Were you there from the start?
No, I was a bit after.
Yeah, you come when.
I've been about 2015, 2016.
It was when we got the new gym, wasn't it?
I was up at the top gym at Staten Grove, where we are now.
Yeah.
There was one in Barney before that, but I never
there's another one.
Yeah, you'll be pleased you never come to that gym, to be fair, because it was awful.
But you would have seen people obviously come and go there. For been there from the start, you'll have seen kids from all different ages really just come in, try it out, and figure out whether it's
I've seen a lot of kids come from out the town or the surrounding areas. Kids who have been really good. Kids who, if they were still boxing now, they'd have achieved a lot of things. But obviously, you see that in gyms all over the country. It's just a thing in amateur boxing. Like, kids will come in the gym, they'll box for a year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, have however many bouts, and then they find other things, or they fall away from it. And some have gone on to do well and be successful in life, and others not so much. But they all come back in the gym every now and again, and they all know they're always welcome in the gym.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think it's that's boxing these days. Times have changed a lot, haven't they? I mean, once upon a time, when back in the day, like, it was some kids might have been forced in the gym. You know what I mean? I think that's a big thing. Yeah. But on the flip side, I didn't have my parents, like, telling me to get down the gym. I was just going because I loved it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But then you do get parents who are, like, pushy and stuff like that. Yeah. That's one thing I want to avoid with my kid. I don't know if you're the same, Nathan, because boxing background, naturally, I hope that he'd want to get involved in it, but I'm not going to push it. You know what I mean? If he wants to go and do football, another sport, I'll let him crack on and do that. But
I mean, we'll get on at that a bit later when we're going to talk about, obviously, like, the harder things in boxing. But I want my little lad to learn how to box from a young age, so, because it's a life skill. Being able to defend yourself is a life skill. Simple as that. Whether you're a little lad or a little lass, you need to be able to defend yourself. So he'll be given all the tools, and I'm going to give him that in life. Obviously, I'm a mechanic by trade. I'm going to teach him how to fix cars. I ain't going to push him into being a mechanic if he doesn't want to do that. If he wants to go and be an astronaut, exactly. But if I can just give him the life skill of boxing, give him the life skill of keeping fit and being strong, and learning how to train hard and do mentally hard things all the time. If he wants to box, he can box. But if he doesn't, he's still got that skill, isn't he?
This is, I think you just hit the nail on the head. And my reason for starting this and the whole Lenny boxing, and same with you. Like, we had this conversation back, like, last winter, just before Christmas, there, about doing it, and it's for that reason, because a lot of the outsiders just see boxing as another sport, just like football, rugby, anything like that. But I don't think it's the same. because you get these morals that you stick with throughout your life that you don't even notice you have, but boxing like inclines that. I think boxing pushes out. Discipline, respect for others, because as soon as you walk through the gym doors, everything goes out. I think everything just gets left there. What you've got going on at home, you know what I mean? Like me as a kid, where I didn't have the best relationship with some of my family members and stuff like that, but the boxing gym was my place to get whatever I needed out, and then I'd go out feeling a lot better. Do you know what I mean? And I think whatever anyone's going through, that's generally the perspective from what I take from it. I think it helps everyone different ways. Do you know what I mean? But like I say, that's the big part about any boxing, is not just for the region and obviously lads like yourself, but it's for that as well, just so families, kids, mothers, because you know what day and age we live in, a lot of kids these days they like wait on hand and foot. They don't know what a hard day's work is.
No,
and I think
that's right,
boxing gym is a perfect place to install that, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
For later life, like things that you've got to go through, work and stuff like that.
I've always said that I think you can tell by one conversation or just watching someone whether they've been in a boxing gym or not. Just off respect,
100%.
in the way they handle themselves and stuff like that. I think
even if they've only been in once or twice.
Boxing's the only sport that can do that to you, I think.
Do you think that's the same across combat sports, or do you think?
Definitely.
I think there's it is the same, but I think with boxing, I think it doesn't matter how good you are at MMA or jiu-jitsu or kickboxing or out like that, boxing's always top of the tree. And maybe it's a bit biased saying that because I'm a boxer.
It's the oldest sport, isn't it?
It's the oldest sport. It's the one where lads and lasses, you're at the highest level. That's why everyone, if they're going to come from a different sport, they come to boxing, because boxing's top of the tree. So I think boxing has the most respect out of anything.
But it's changed a lot, hasn't it? And it continues to change. I think it's changing rapidly in the past 5-10 years. I think
massively.
What we're witnessing now in boxing is like evolutionary. I think this is something that's going to be remembered like throughout history, because, and like when I'm saying that, I'm on about all this misfits carry on and influence of boxing in
Turkey as well.
Turkey and all the hype that you get behind boxing now. It's huge now compared to what it was when we were kids.
It's a mainstream sport now in a sense. At the top level, it's a mainstream sport because everyone's a boxing a boxing expert now, aren't they? Which do you get that a lot? Like obviously when you're out and that, I know, because obviously you.
Everyone does, I think.
I know, but obviously Nathan's, he's done his Guy Richmond fight that was packed out, you know what I mean? Like big shows like that. There'll be people who come to you all the time, I'd imagine. This is what George can expect when he starts making his way through the pros. They're giving you advice, they're giving you like stuff.
You've never boxed.
You've never boxed
before in my life. No, I've had it a few times, but like especially if you go somewhere and people have had a few drinks and stuff like that and they start slavering on in your ear, which I know George has had before as well, but I'm quite good at just shrugging it off and
you get used to it after a while.
You've got to respect it. The people, especially when they come out and see your box as well, you kind of just got to be grateful for them to be there, aren't you? One thing I've always wanted to have a conversation with you, Nath, and I am going to push on to you, George, but I just kind of want to get these things out with Nathan, with because you had like I would say a short amount of fights in the amateurs compared to like what George has had, you know what I mean? How many have you had, George? 60 odd?
Around the 60 mark.
60 mark. So
you've had twice as many as me, if not more.
And I touched on it there about the goal was always to turn professional, but if you take us back to when you were going through the amateurs, and like you say, you think about, and you got in with the likes of Ben Marksby and stuff like that, was it always to get there? Was it always to get to the pros?
Well,
you think in the nicest way possible? Do you think you like rushed it through the amateurs to get the pros a little bit?
Not really, no.
Right.
Because I think it was maybe my 8th fight. I boxed a lad on a Lambton Street show, a lad called Alex Mexis. He was a Greek lad, and he was a big lump of a lad. I think he'll have been about 23-year-old. He'd had a lump kickboxing fights as well as boxing, and I boxed him, and we had a great fight. I stopped him in the 3rd, and it was the first time where, like, obviously first time with the head guard off as well, first senior one, and I boxed nice, tidy, felt like I just belonged in the ring, boxed really well, and Craig was over the moon with us, and it was my first stoppage as well, and then we sort of realised, like that's how we all made the box, like nice, tight, hands tight, block a couple, come in, bang, 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 and that was when I sort of found my style a little bit. So, and I always wanted to turn pro, because my older brother was good mates with Tommy Ward.
Right.
So from me being like 15-year-old, I'd gone to watch Tommy at the pro shows. So I'd been around pro boxing for a long time anyway. So when I was about 18, I sort of decided, like that's what I want to do. And it sounds cliche, or it might sound cringy to say, but I always knew I was meant to do something else. I always knew I wasn't just meant to go to work and work a 9 to 5 for the rest of my life.
Oh my God,
like I always knew like I was meant to go and achieve something, do something good. And I didn't excel in school with football. I wasn't the best footballer, wasn't the best runner, wasn't the best at a lot of stuff. I was decent at most stuff, but just average. But boxing was the one thing I actually excelled in, because I could fight. I was tough and game. Like I could fight. So I knew I just needed to channel it and get as good as I could, and that was going to be my call in the pros.
So this is an interesting thing, and it's something I'm going to push on to in future episodes, because I've only just become aware of it. I've not really heard much of it happen, but recently it seems to be like a I don't know, something that's just started happening. So the unlicensed scene, it has a bad name. People give it a bad name instantly, because say unlicensed, you think nothing to do with it, especially if you come from an amateur background, stuff like that. But just on what you're talking about there, Nathan, in sitting in your shots more and having that pro style, that pro feel, no vest, obviously going out, rowdy crowd, you're selling tickets and stuff like that. There's actually been Callum Drinkle's one of them. I bring it up because it's probably the first one that I've heard of, especially like I say in recent years, who's gone from amateur to the unlicensed scene before he turns over.
Yeah.
Now, is that something you ever thought about doing, or was it just?
No, not really, because the unlicensed scene, obviously, 4 years ago now I turned pro. The unlicensed scene wasn't as it is now.
Right.
4 years ago. 4 years ago, the unlicensed scene was for lads who weren't quite good enough to box amateur. Yeah. But were decent enough to have a fight.
Yeah. You get a lot from the unlicensed who turn over now, don't you? Like.
Yeah. You get a few who box unlicensed and then have a few as amateur. The thing with the unlicensed is there's never been the depth. Whereas there's getting a little bit of depth there now. Yeah. Because boxing's become a bit more mainstream, everyone fancies themselves as a boxer.
Should give it a go, really, isn't it?
So the amount of lads that go to the gym and try it, and they actually train and get a bit better, so they're good enough to jump in and have a good fight with someone over 3 rounds. And there is a couple of amateur lads who've turned over, obviously, like say Callum Drinkle and Conor Pigford. He's turned over. Turned over to the unlicensed.
What gym did he box over?
Wasn't North Road, wasn't it?
It used to be Dunstan or North Road, one of the two.
Right. They merged though, didn't
they?
I
think they were.
Two good handy lads who've turned over, and they'll clean up in the unlicensed. They will, because there's not the depth there for it. But with the pros, the amount of tickets you have to sell, the amount it costs you for your medicals and all the rest of it, the amount it costs to get an opponent in to come and box you, I don't blame them. I genuinely, if it were 4 years ago, I'd have said, them there, what have they gone to the unlicensed for? Why didn't they turn pro? Like they'd have better, I'd have said, what they doing then, man? But like the way it is now, I don't blame them.
I've actually spoke to Callum, and I've sat down and had a good lengthy conversation with him about it, because at first I was baffled. It was at one of the Kenton shows. We were sat in the changing rooms, and I said, like, what's the thought process behind it? And when he explained about the tickets and the medicals and the opponent and all that, it fucking makes sense, mate. Like, it does. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's actually an interesting episode that I'm thinking about doing. One of Jack's mates, Jake, he's going from unlicensed to Billingham, so he's doing the opposite way around. So I'm thinking about getting the pair on to have the discussion around that. Yeah. But I think just in terms of like knowing when the time's right to turn over, obviously George, you said there 60 odd fights, Nathan, you had 20. Do you think your experience in turning pro has kind of guided George into when the right time is for him?
I don't know. George would probably answer that better than me. But everything what's happened to me as a pro I've talked about with George, because I knew he always wanted to turn pro. I know he's always wanted to be a superstar. So everything I've experienced, I've tried to tell George. Like, I've always seen him as my little brother. Like, I've always said that, haven't I? Like,
we've always seen that as well. I've always seen it.
Yeah, although he's like a foot taller than us now, like he was smaller than us once. So, and I've known him since he was a bairn. So I've always seen him as my little brother. So I've always tried to educate him on what I knew. I'm not calling myself a boxing expert in any way, shape or form, but from my experience and what I've learned and what I've seen, like I say, I've been around the pro game since I was young myself and sort of seen everything what went on. I've got a business mindset as well, so I can see it from that point of view. I can see it from a promoter's point of view, a manager's point of view and a boxer's point of view. So I've tried to tell him everything that I know about the game and my experiences and try to guide him into the right thing to do. But whether it's had an effect on his decision, he'd probably tell you better.
I think it definitely has, because I've seen it's not all sunshine and rainbows, is it? A lot of people think it is.
I speak with him about it all the time.
And if he wasn't in the gym, I might have thought 2 years ago, or once when I won the youth, I might have thought, I'll turn pro now, make some money, which isn't the thing now, is it?
No.
Like,
it's one of the biggest misconceptions now.
And the experience of the seniors.
Yeah,
I've had 3 years in the seniors now, and I've learned more in them 3 years than I have in the last however many years. Even when I won the youth, I've learnt more in the seniors than I have then. Definitely.
There's a few people in the region who hasn't been boxed as a senior. And do you know what I mean?
And listen, for some lads, that's not a problem. Like Tommy Ward never boxed as a senior.
Right.
Never went straight from the youths. I believe he went and won the Europeans, and then turned pro straight away. Or I think he was meant to join GB. I can't remember if he went trained, didn't like it or whatever. Obviously this was quite a long time ago now. This will have been 14 years ago or something. And he turned pro straight away. But Tommy's ability, just he could outclass and outbox anyone. He was that good. So he sort of served his apprenticeship as a young pro and rattled out a load of fights, and he had the backing there to get the opponents in, and he had a good manager in Dave Garside who helped him along and got him the right fights and everything, and he tallied up some good experience. But as well, sort of like 10 or 15 years ago, it was easier to get opponents in. There was more choice of opponents. Opponents were cheaper, whether they were journeymen or just rough lads with a 50-50 record who were going to come and have a good fight. You know what I mean? There was more availability. So I've sort of seen that side of it as well, and some lads can turn over without any senior experience. But if it was my advice, I would always advise a young amateur, listen, have a season as a senior with no head guard on, because it's completely different, isn't it?
It's kind of like
completely different.
Get as much free experience as you can get.
Exactly, like if you box for one season as a senior and you have 5 fights and 5 losses, it doesn't matter. You've shared all them rounds with no head guard on, because your head's 2 inches smaller.
Doesn't make a difference, doesn't it?
You think you've got a head guard on, there's an inch on that side, there's an inch on that side, and like if you slightly lean to the side and they catch your head guard and your head's going back like that, and also you've got a false sense of security. You can box like that with your hands down, whereas a pro, you've got to keep your hands up, you've got to protect your chin. Them gloves what you wear as amateur as well, they're nothing like that. They might be 10 ounce.
It's 10, right? Isn't it 10 ounce on the end of the glove and not the full glove? I'm sure it's just the pattern.
But there'll be a big majority of it is on the end of the glove.
Like that. You look at some of the gloves I've boxed in, like
them Bravos ones, fucking hell. 8 ounce, that you
absolutely no brilliant. The tough wear ones as well. What I boxed for the area title in, there's nout in them neither, because the 8 ounce, they're tiny, absolutely tiny. So like going from amateur boxing in 10 ounce gloves that's like that to boxing in 8 ounce gloves, or even obviously you'll be boxing in 10s. Even the 10s there's nout on them. So with no head guard as well.
Right.
It's a different environment, and I would always advise a young amateur to have a go as a senior first.
When would you say that you first felt that difference? Obviously, I know the first couple of fights you had, you won't have felt it then because it was just hitting the punch bag, you know what I mean? But which fight would you say was you first felt like the lighter gloves and the different in the sport, in pro and amateur? Or was there a time?
Probably just from my debut, really. Right. As an amateur, I always I loved boxing as an amateur, but I always felt like not uncomfortable, but just didn't feel settled. Never felt settled. Like walking to the ring and getting in the ring, like always felt like it was a bit rushed and like didn't feel right. My pro debut, I just couldn't believe how much I felt at home. I thought, yes, this is it. This is what I've been waiting for. My pro debut, I boxed a lad. He was just a journeyman. I could have stopped him in the first, to be fair. I wobbled him in the first. I come back to the corner and Fano said, listen, don't stop him. Just get the rounds under your belt. So I did. And I jumped out afterwards. It was only 4 rounds, and I thought, yeah, this is it. Like, I know, like the little gloves, no head guard. Obviously, I boxed no head guard as a senior anyway, but the little gloves and just the change of pace, complete different pace.
Hi people, hope you're enjoying the podcast so far. I just want to give a massive thank you to Can at You Can Fly Media for helping us use the studio. He's helped us out from the start. Anyone looking to use the space, either for interviews or a podcast, please get in touch with Can at You Can Fly Media. Also, a massive thank you to Cleo Mackay for coming down this day and getting some photos behind the scene of me and the lads. Also, if you didn't know, we are doing a 5k for 5k run at the Quayside in Newcastle on the 29th of August. If you don't know the details yet, please head over to NE Boxing on Instagram and you'll find out everything you need to know. It'll be a great opportunity to get the amateur kids out before the season and also a good chance to network with people in the region. Enjoy the rest of the podcast. George, so you're about to go in the pros now. And when I've spoke to you about it in the interview when you announced you were turning pro, but now I would say now is the right time. You've experienced, you've gone through as a youth, as junior, as a youth, now obviously as a senior, you've achieved things in that time as well. I think turning pro now, especially with the likes of Nathan in the gym and that, and having that experience to kind of back you into turning over, being fortunate, obviously lucky, well not lucky because you've earned it, but signed with VIP, which is a good promotion up here, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
What was it about, because you have got promoters up here, you know what I mean, you've got Jobs, you've got Boss and stuff like that. What was it about Steve Woods and VIP that you want to go with them, do you think?
Well, I'd only heard good things. He's got quite a few lads up here. He's got Tom Somerville, Joe Tyers, Paul Smith, all them lot. Everyone spoke well of him. Said how good he was. And in a manager, what you want really is someone who's going to look after you and communicate with you. And I spoke to a few others, like obviously won't name names, no one up here, that just weren't giving us back what I wanted and didn't seem that interested. And as soon as I'd spoke to Steve, he was just, every time I wanted to ring him, he'd answer the phone. And then we had the meeting, and as soon as we had a meeting, I just thought, perfect, exactly what I want. He said everything I wanted to hear, and Craig agreed. And obviously, I take Craig's word into a lot.
I think it's reassuring, isn't it? Especially when because it is a big move. You know what I mean? So it's like it's not only just in the sport, and then you're looking into your personal life, because a lot of it's to do with money, you know, expenses and stuff. A lot of time out of your personal life to do the sport. You know, that's what you want to do full time, stuff like that. So it's a big move, and it's a wise decision that you need to make. It's not something you want to jump into. Do you know what I mean? There's people who, the audience who might be watching this, who, you know, people in the region. You've got a lot of talent now who probably is in the same shoes as what you are, 60 odd fights or whatever, national champions and stuff, thinking about turning over. I would say, and I'm not experienced, you might be able to say better for us, but it's not something you should rush into. I think you should pick your choices and pick who you want to work with.
You definitely should take your time. Definitely should. And first of all, make sure you're in the right gym. Make sure you're in the right gym that's not just doing flashy pad work, a gym that's going to teach you defence, because it's the first thing you need as a pro. Make sure you're in a gym that's going to teach you that, and a gym that hasn't got a brave corner. The last thing you need as a boxer is to have a brave corner. You need to be brave as a boxer. Your coach's job is to be smart. Simple as that. You shouldn't rush into it. You need to make sure you first of all you're in the right gym. Second of all, you pick the right manager and don't rush into it. Like you didn't rush into it. You were making the decision for well over a month, weren't you?
Probably more.
Yeah, like
I had my last fight in March. As soon as I had that, I knew I was turning pro, and I probably didn't speak to Steve or sign anything with Steve till June time.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, have you had the conversation obviously in the gym about with Craig as well about turnover?
But after that fight, I sort of rang Craig, and I just said, "What do you think?" And he said straight away, he said, "I was thinking the exact same. I think now was the time." Yeah. And I think even Nathan could tell you, like this last Craig's always taught us to be able to do both, fight on the outside, fight on the inside, but I always just fought on the outside. These last 2 years, if you looked at my fights, I did everything. I could do both. So I think, like you watched fight at Chrissy Loudon.
I've seen you box a few times.
Like that was probably the first time I'd actually had to go to war and go on the inside and have to really go with someone. But then over these last year, like that one with Harrison Barker.
Yeah, it was one of the best amateur fights I've ever watched.
It was like November last year. Honestly, it was like a phone box. We didn't move.
And it was almost like in your head you had a point to prove to yourself that you could do it. And like it was not the first time I'd watched you and gone, my God, like he's going to make a good pro, because I've always watched you and thought that. But it was when you had that one with Harrison Barker, I watched that and sort of thought, yeah, he's really going to make a good pro.
And I think there is an adjustment to make, like to be had, because I was speaking to Kai about this the other week, because it's not, like, again, not something you rush into. There's a lot of stuff that you need to change on the dial to be suited in the pros. I think because it's a 3 round as well, with boxing over 3 rounds and then jumping straight into a 4, and it's one more round, but it makes a difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
I've been in there 3 rounds and I've been fucked after the second, never mind another 2. So I think even just that, like, I wouldn't have an amateur fight and then jump straight into a pro fight. I would have a bit time to readjust and be around, like get the sparring, get the rounds
different
in.
sport.
It was been in and done it. You know what I mean?
Just as an amateur, start sparring pros and start trying to box as a pro in your amateur fights. Like I said,
that's what I started doing, definitely. Like these last year and a half, I've mainly only sparred pros. Like your Tom Somervells going down
Bobby
with
Dalton.
Bobby Dalton, Jake Goodwin, who boxed for the English title down at Josh Warrington's gym. Willie Harrison, who's down there as well. Like all them lads. Ben Marksby, I did quite a few good rounds with.
It's a good way to be in for Europe as well. Like you've got a lot to choose from, haven't you?
Yeah. So I've always enjoyed sparring the pros a bit more.
What's that one that's overheated? It might go back on now, like. Sorry lads, I'm working with my makeshift here, mind it. That podcast I did, they had all the fucking gear and that, but this is all we've got, so there we go. Back on. Might overheat again. But talking about there is just obviously you just being a pro and settling into it and stuff like that. But before I move on to the personal side of things, so I do want to cover that. I do want to go into what you're like outside of boxing, outside.
Nah, you don't like. You don't. Let's not get it that.
But just for the people watching, but more just your experience now, because I know I've not really been as invested up until any boxing, and I've got to know pretty much everyone.
Just been a nosy bastard.
And being a nosy bastard, basically, mate. I just to find out.
Shit stirring, being a nosy bastard, a cheeky bastard.
Basically, I got myself some shit, like, not gonna lie, but that's. But I've not been in touch with it as much as what you would have. You know what I mean? Especially with Nathan. But if you take us back to when you were like really active, maybe it's the first 10 fights or whatever, where you were just boxing for the activity and stuff, and the difficulties that you came across, like ticket selling, and what your personal experience was like turning over, like right from the start. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So the thing is with me, I was born in Bishop. Then I lived there till I was about 4. Moved on to a farm in Gainford, which is it's in the middle of nowhere, in between Darlington and Barnard Castle. Lived there, went to primary school there, then moved on to a farm in between Bishop and Darlington, and went to secondary school in Darlington, and then I moved. Then when I finished school, I moved to Barnard Castle and got my apprenticeship through there. And that was when I started boxing for the club full time. And then when I moved out of home and got a house, I moved to a village in between Bishop and Barney. So I moved around a lot, so I had a lot of different groups of friends. And I'd never spent a lot of time in the pub, because I was just training all the time and being dedicated, probably overtraining, like even all the way through the amateurs. Sometimes I used to train 3 times a day, just not speak to anyone, just train like a madman. So I'd never been in the pub, never followed the football much or anything like that. So when it come to me turning over, I had a lot of mates kicking about and a lot of friends and a lot of acquaintances as well, and family spread about all over. So I did manage to do all right for my debut in my first early fights, but because I didn't have the football following or a big town following or a big city following or out like that, it does get harder to sell tickets, and that's the same as anyone, to be fair. Like, I've spoken to lads who live bang in the middle of Newcastle or bang in the middle of Sunderland, and even they say, like, wait till you've had a few. Like, does get harder selling tickets. And for anyone watching this who doesn't know what you've got to cover, so say you might get given 100 tickets, your first 60, say first 60, so say it was $3,000, that'll cover your opponent and his hotel and stuff like that, and then you've got to put a lump into the promoter that might range from 800 quid to 1200 quid, and then after that you might get to keep 800 quid or 1200 quid, and then after that it's 50-50. So if you think you're going to turn over and make money, make sure you can shift 120 tickets. That's when you might make a few quid, but you've got to take into account buying all your gear, your gloves, your set of wraps, a new fresh set of boots, all your sparring gear, tape, stuff like that, and then your brain scans 600 odd quid, your eye test 50 quid, your medical with your bloods is 150 quid, you've got to go and get your Hep B jab, that's, I don't know, maybe 40 odd quid. Then you want to go and get yourself a set of shorts designed, which is 300 odd quid. And then which
matters, mind, because image matters.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, you've got to go and get a decent set of shorts.
The most stressful part.
That's all he talks about in the gym.
Me and him in the gym.
You don't even train half the time. I'm there graphing away on the back and they're showing each other pictures.
If someone on here can design me some nice shorts, because I change my mind every 3 days.
10 times.
You're the same.
He's had to pay for ChatGPT Pro just to design himself a set of shorts.
You got 7 on yours, didn't you? On the children's show. What's it all about?
Just born on the 7th. It's a cool number, isn't it?
It is a lucky number, isn't it?
Yeah,
lucky number. I was fortunate enough that one of my sponsors paid for us to go and get that kit made, the cowboy kit, what everyone loves. So one of my sponsors paid for that, but there was 800 quid.
Yeah. It's not cheap, like.
It's 800 quid, and like, there's not many lads and lasses in the northeast, especially, that's training full time as a pro. No. There might be the odd one who's fortunate enough, whether they've got a few quid themselves, or they're still living at home, or they getting paid a wage by sponsors. I ain't jealous. Good on you. Do it for as long as you can. Stay at home. If you want to turn pro and you're a young one, make sure you stay. You're still at home.
Have less outgoings as possible.
Yeah, little outgoings as possible. Ride around in a little scrap car that I'll be able to sell you. If anyone needs a little scrap car, make sure you're riding around in a cheap little motor. Like Joe Laws used to go around in his little scrap Corsa. He used to sell 1,200 tickets for all them big Matchroom shows. He used to drive around in his little Corsa and drop them all off one by one. Yeah. And like, I'm sure he was still living at home. He had it down to a T.
Yeah.
That's what you're better off doing, because it is hard. You won't make any money off it to start with. Your first few, you might think, this is all right. I'm getting 400, 500, 600 quid, maybe it's up to $1,000. If you're selling a lump of tickets, you might think, this is all right. Every time I boxing every 2 or 3 a month. But it does get harder.
So like, the longer it goes on, the harder it gets as well. Cause
exactly.
People don't want to box you.
And I had the area title in my 7th fight, which for a lad who'd only had 27 as amateur, it was only my 34th fight ever in a competitive ring. So I think I managed to sell about 160 tickets for that show. And it was packed. I think Kai had sold a load of tickets as well. He'll have probably done the same, if not more, because he was from the middle of, like, he was from Spennymoor, so he'd sold a load of tickets as well. It was a good undercard as well. So the place was packed, and I think I made me sell maybe $4,500 or something off that. Did all right. Promoters did all right as well. Like, it was good, but at the time I think maybe you only had to put 750 quid into the pot. When I first turned over, you got the first ticket deal I got was I got given 100 tickets. No, sorry, I can't remember what it was when I first turned over, but for that area title fight, I got 100 tickets, 750 quid into the pot, into the promoter's pot. and then you kept the rest for yourself, and then any more after 100 was 50-50. That was a real good ticket deal at the time, but it's not nowhere near as good as that now, because it costs the promoter a fortune to put a show on.
For the venues.
I don't envy the promoters. Like, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to slag off ticket deals because they're horrible, and I hate boxing on a ticket deal, but it has to be done. And years ago, I think it was maybe in the early 2000s, maybe even the 90s, ticket deals were banned. The boxing board banned ticket deals and said the promoters just have to promote your show.
I didn't know that.
And boxing was a bit different back then.
Yeah.
Like there was probably more pros in the region, probably not at as good of a level or as good in ability wise, but there was more about. So like there might have been 12 pros just in Hartlepool. So if there was a show on, it's I forget where it was, where they used to have all the shows in Hartlepool Borough Hall, where Mickey Hunter used to have a lot of his fights. If there was a boxing show on, most of the town was fighting, and they were all pros. Do you know what I mean? Whereas now, I'm from Bishop, boxing out of Barney. I have a few from Newcastle, a few from Sunderland, a few from Hartlepool, a few from Middlesbrough on a show. So how can a promoter put on a show and promote it himself if the fighters no one knows the fighters?
That makes sense then, doesn't it?
You know what I mean? And the shows are either at Rainton or at Newcastle. Rainton's in the middle of nowhere, but it's a great venue because it's in the middle of the region. Therefore, lads like myself from over my way, or lads from Darlington, Middlesbrough, it's 45 minutes away from everywhere in the northeast. So it's a great venue and it's perfect. So if I say to someone, I'm boxing at Rainton, it's only up the road. You know what I mean? So it's a great venue, but how can a promoter not put you on a ticket deal? Because if he doesn't make you sell the tickets, who's going to buy them?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And the thing is, in modern day, and I'm rambling, I know, I'm sorry, but people don't realise that if it's a big fight, if Tyson Fury's fighting, everyone wants to know. Everyone wants to go down to Wembley.
Influence.
But if a local lad out the town's fighting, when's your next fight, mate? You know what I mean? Like you say, them influencers that what you call them, big stacks and the Ibiza boss and that Jordan McCann. Listen, I can't slag them off too much because they've had an opportunity to make a few quid there, but they can't fight.
No.
They can't fight. No. Someone's got to them and says, "Do you just want to have a fight on this show and you'll get paid 20, 30, 40, 50 grand."
So the two things that are it's gone dark because the solar eclipse is happening. I don't know if you know.
I've seen that actually.
That's why it's gone dark.
Don't look at it. You're not meant to look at it.
But the two things that I harp on about the most in interviews and that, and on podcasts and that, is one, sponsorships, because I think that's the biggest thing at low level professional boxing, and two is what was it? What we just fucking talked about there?
Influencer boxing
and that, and how having influence in the social background affects how you do in the pros, because people who don't know boxing and the outside of boxing, they just go to shows for a night out. They just go because the mates are going, a few of the pals are going, or whatever, they're going for a drink, and that's it. They don't know the sacrifices that you've had to go through, or 60 fights in as an amateur. They don't know that. They just say, we'll go and watch a few lads have it out. And I think that's what the whole misfits carry on. With Jordan McCann, Ibiza's final boss, you get that audience. You get the people who don't know what boxing is.
They don't have a clue because they've seen this lad who they follow on the phone who does a bit of daft stuff on the internet. They've seen him. They want to go and watch him. Why?
Because they aren't on the. I see it because they aren't on the inside. They don't know who's who. And I mean, Sean Huddard was a good one. I mentioned it in his I think it was his interviews before his last fight, and I said, people don't know that you've had all the amount of fights that you've had and you've been in it as a kid. They just come out and watch it because either they know you or they come for a night out. And be all and end all, it's heartbreaking, but that's the reality of it. That's the reality of this game.
But on the flip side of it, like them influencer shows, what you're on about, the 50-50 fights. They are, aren't they? Because neither of them can fight, none of them can fight. So it's two lads who can't fight, but they're both going to try and win, aren't they? Whereas some of the small all shows, pros at the minute, you're either a journeyman or you ain't very good. You set out to be a pro and then you go on the road, or you're pretty good and you're going to do all right. There's no in between. there's not as many pros about now. People might think there is because they see it on the phone, but there's not as many pros about as there used to be. The pros years ago was just like the amateurs. There was loads of lads about. There's pro shows on all the time, and like there was loads of boxing on. Whereas it's few and far between now. So you go and watch some of the pro shows, and it's just young prospects who've had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fights fighting journeymen, which has got to be done. But it'd be nice if every show had a couple of decent fights at the top. And like I was crying out for a good fight from the start. Like I just wanted a good fight. I just wanted to get out there, like obviously improve and develop, but have good fights in between. I've been trying to do that since. But I can totally understand that people don't just want to go and watch the young prospects beat journeymen all the time, because it's boring. It is, mate. It is boring, and it's got to be done because everyone's got to serve their apprenticeship. But like, if someone said to me, right, Nathan, how would you sort boxing out? There's probably no straightforward cure, but I would make every pro in the country. I would set out a ranking, or I would set out a qualify, or I would look at the lads who have titles and I would seed them in a ranking, and I would say the lads at the bottom right, we're going to do away with journeymen. We're going to say if you lose 5 times off the bounce, you get a 6-month ban. So that would do away with journeymen. And I think listen, I respect a lot of journeymen because they're doing something to feed the family, but if you say, right, if you lose 5 off the bounce, you do away with journeymen, right? Everyone gets ranked. If you win, you move up 5 ranks. If you get beat, you move down 5 ranks, or you fight him to maintain your spot. That's how it should be, in my opinion. That's similar to how the UFC's worked. You know what I mean?
Because there's less of them in the
exactly.
And that way, there's people aren't trying to protect their own.
Exactly. So it wouldn't matter. Wins and losses wouldn't matter. It would just matter how you were performing and who you were beating, and you would find your level somewhere in between.
Consistency as well, isn't it? Just keep going back to it.
But if say if you had 100 lads ranked in that weight in the country, or 50 or whatever, you move 5 places up. So like if you have 10 fights where you're the best in Britain, that's about right, isn't it? Or at the minute it would maybe be 15, 16 fights for a British title or something like that. But if someone said to me, how would you do it? That's how I would do it.
One of my questions actually, just on that topic, is like, what was different from every other fight you've had to the one you had with Kai Richmond? I know obviously the difference is mainly that you're the two prospects at the time, obviously Kai and two North East lads, you know what I mean, and ticket sellers, who were ticket sellers in the region. So that's obviously the biggest difference. But in terms of getting in there and actually fighting him, did you see like a real side to professional boxing when you got in there? Someone was giving something back?
No, because I knew he was going to come and give it everything.
Right.
I knew he was going to come and try and put it on us. But I knew I was better than him, so I knew it didn't matter. To be fair, obviously I stopped him in the third, but I was boxing terrible. Wasn't boxing very well at all. I had belly cramps. I'd ate the wrong things. It was my first time making the weight. A lesson that I've learned since and corrected. So I was flat. Wasn't boxing very well, and I come back to the corner, and I was getting a real bad stitch. And I sat down. Fano was saying, "Use your jab. Do this. Do that." So I went out to try to do it a bit. He was coming at us. I just couldn't get out the way. Couldn't get me rhythm. And then obviously the third round, I thought, right, I'm going to have to hit me. I'm going to have to catch him. So I did walk 1-to-1, bang, bang, got him and stopped him. So I knew it was going to be a hard fight anyway, but I knew what I could do. So it didn't really show us much of it wasn't really a shock to us. But the buzz of like fighting in a local derby, because we're like, he was from Spennymoor, I was from Bishop. It was like there was a lot on it, and obviously Kai come from cage fighting background, and I'd come from an amateur background, so it was like the weight of boxing was on my shoulders in the North East, because I couldn't go and get beat off a cage fighter. Could I? Couldn't go and get beat off a cage fighter when I've boxed for years. He'd said a few things in the build-up, and I just thought, I can't go and get beat off him. It's funny because I knew Kai before the fight. I knew Kai like well before the fight, I used to. Funnily enough, his Mrs. Molly, she was a physio, and she used to do me physio in SBG. So we knew each other, and like we do, like I had loads of crack before, and like when they moved out of SBG, I like obviously had a van at the time, so I went and moved the massage table for them and everything into a lock up for them, and did them a favour. Didn't want no money on out like that. And then obviously the fight come about, and he was being dead cheeky. Like, fair enough, he was maybe just trying to build the fight, but I thought, I can't let him beat me. Not a chance, you know what I mean? So there was a lot riding on it.
One of the questions I usually ask these at the end, but you've obviously already seen it. You know what's going to come about. There's people who's, whether it's rumours or whether people's getting a sniff of a potential fight with you and Tommy Hodge.
Yeah.
Where we get to see all this unfold again. A North-East rivalry. Hopefully I'm right in the middle of it. Kurt, before I get into that though, because it was getting spicy, but I do want to give Curtis his credit in the fact that you signed with Curtis. Do you want to just touch on why you obviously decided to go with 3156 management and get on them shows before we go on to the good
obviously
match?
So my manager originally was Phil Jeffries, and Phil had been in boxing for years, and he decided he wasn't going to renew his manager's license, so effectively my license ran out, and obviously like you have to have a manager to have a license. So I was looking for a new manager. I was thinking about like a few others up and down the country in the region and that, and I spoke to Tom Corgill at Cleveland Boxing Club, and
great coach.
Fantastic, great cutsman as well. He helps us out with my corner, and he was having a bit of crack with us, and he said, he mentioned Curtis, and he must have spoke to him, and then Curtis gave us a message on Instagram, and he was the only one. He was the only person that like showed a bit of interest in me. So then I spoke to him on the phone and I thought, I like the way he speaks. He thinks the same as me. And then I went down to watch the GBM show, the heist. Went down to watch that. Well, I went down to the weigh-in on the Friday and had a bit of crack with Curtis. Had a good bit of crack with him. And then I went down and had a bit more crack with him on the night. He got some tickets. So spoke to him over the phone and I just thought, he's the right fit for me. I think he knows the right people and can get us on the right shows.
Been there and done it as well.
Yeah, been there and done it. That was when I made the decision, and I'm pleased I did, because he's fantastic, to be honest. He is fantastic. He always answers the phone. He's enthusiastic. He listens to what we say and what we want to do. And he'll come up with a few options. If something's gone wrong, he'll try and fix it. He'll always try and find a solution, and he's putting great shows on himself, which I've been on both of them. I'm over the moon when I signed with Curtis, to be fair.
I like his methods. I like how he's going about things in terms of like as a promoter. I think obviously not only what he's doing for the boxers, but just in the way he's promoting his show and his company.
Yeah.
With the social media side of things, with the way he's decorating, obviously the connection live.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It all comes down though. You know what I mean? It looks good, and I like his way of going. But again, experience matters, and I think that's experience that the shows that he's been on.
Yeah.
As to why he's can put these together. But I will go on to this Tommy Hodgson, because the audience are going to want to know sooner rather than later whether that's a fight that they can look forward to, and it's definitely one I can look forward to. I know when we spoke at the Job show back in April when we were on the commentary, Nathan, we were watching Tommy box and he got rocked, and you mentioned that would be a fight that you potentially later on down the line, after you've both had a bit more activity in your careers. But do you think it's right to have it now in the next couple of years?
Yeah, I need a breakout fight or an opportunity to get on the bigger stages or fight for a major title, and Tommy's a few years older than me. He's obviously boxed for the English and been beat. He sort of needs it as well, in my opinion, to kick his career on. So I think it's a good fight for us both. On paper you'd probably look and say it's a 50-50 fight. It's one I know I'm going to win. I know I can beat Tommy, but that's no disrespect to him whatsoever, because he is a top operator.
Have you shared round sparring or?
Yeah, we've only sparred there once. I'm not going to talk about sparring because I'm a boxing man and I know that sparring means absolutely nothing. when it comes to talking about having a fight. But I know that I can beat Tommy. Like I say again, no disrespect to him whatsoever, but I know I'm good enough to beat him. He probably thinks the same about me. He probably thinks, well, I know I'm good enough to beat Nathan, and that's what will make a good fight, won't it? But I think it's a fight that we both should be taking, and not that we both need it, because there's plenty of routes to go down, but it's a good fight, and I think we should get it on. And we'll have a good fight. We'll shake hands after, and there'll be plenty of respect there. I can't imagine there'll be a fiery build-up at all, because we're both respectful lads. Why, if you don't know, deal with it. But no, it's a good fight. It's one I think should happen. I did mention before when I was commentating on that show that we should maybe do it down the line, but if it's there to have now, if they want to do it and there's a promoter going to put it on, then let's do it.
I think it's a good time, personally. I think it's a good time. 12 fights in, we've spoke about it a few times in this podcast about keeping the interest there and not just boxing journeyman. I think that fight alone is enough to push her on to big, titles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It will be a 10 rounder. It's got to be a 10 rounder if it is for a title. But if not, would you take it if it wasn't for a title? Or would you?
It wouldn't bother me. To be fair, titles don't bother me. That's not what I turned pro for.
Right.
I turned pro to. My goal was always just to be a good pro and be in good fights. So whether it was for a title or not, it wouldn't bother us. I just want the fight.
Spot on. Well, that's probably what I want to. That's what I want to hear anyway. I do want to see that fight. I think a lot of people watching this would want to see that fight as well. Not particularly on any promotion, just the fight in general. I think it'll be unbelievable.
And I mean, listen, if it doesn't happen, it might still happen down the line. That's what I'd said when I was commentating.
As long as they're both still active, I know you will be.
That's it. Up here in the northeast, there ain't that many pros about. So if we're fighting each other, one's got to get beaten, one's got to drop down the ladder, haven't they? Whereas I'd rather see all the lads in the northeast. I'd rather see them all beating lads from other regions and the northeast thriving. But if we ain't getting the opportunities, then we're gonna have to fight each other, aren't we? So 100%. That's just the way it is, isn't it?
My name's Lee. I own Evolution Gym. I'm a strength and conditioning coach in this facility as well. The gym's in Billingham, Lee Home Road. I've had the gym for 11 years, 12 years coming up actually. It's 2 floors, so it's a lot of cardiovascular work upstairs, some boxing bags and stuff. The main gym area, obviously, we've got all the facilities to cover strength and conditioning, whatever your chosen sport as well. We're open from 4 in the morning till 12 midnight, 7 days a week. It is a key fob system as well. Last September, I come back and started working closely with a few boxing gyms, a few football clubs, and everyday people really, people working towards their fitness goals, rehabilitation work, and just that's my passion. That's what I enjoy doing. I'm in here 7 days a week. Strength and condition is massive, but it's got to be tailored for your chosen sport. So when I train athletes, I don't just train them a certain way to look a certain way. I work on obviously full strength and conditioning, connective tissues, ligament strength. So where they are performing, it maybe be football or boxing. That aspect of what I'm doing with them is going to transition over to obviously the football pitch or the ring itself, and I think it's big. I think there's a lot of countries are moving forward with this, and I think we're slowly catching up with it as well. So I work closely with Billingham Boxing Club, so I've got young Noah's there with me, Rogan's with me, I've got Sonny and Alfie Hollandsworth, 2 brothers. Then I work with a few lads from Lions Den over in Middlesbrough. So we've got Jake Patterson there, Will Dyson. The back of that, there's a few football clubs I've been helping as well. What I'm trying to do is obviously show them the basic fundamentals, the fundamentals that have stood the test of time. There's a lot of misleading information out there, and I do truly believe it's my duty to show these kids obviously what I was taught, and there is life after boxing as well. So if they can learn the basic fundamentals, be healthy, that's a big part. And obviously when they finish their career, they might want to go down their own gyms, or they might want to pass something back themselves. So any local boxers in the area who want to get involved in strength and conditioning, obviously we can tailor for that, help you with your nutritional plan as well. Just give us a shout. You can catch us on Instagram, my own Facebook, Lee Mughal. We're in Billingham, obviously, Lee Home Road. just pop down. Be happy to help.
I suppose that leads us on to one of my questions for you, George, and the fact that you've gone to VIP, and VIP don't just operate in the North East, they operate, you know, up and down the country. I think, have they had shows down south or not? I was just
North West, isn't it?
North West, isn't it?
Yeah, they get like Bolton and your Blackpools and that way.
So do you think that a bit of different to Nathan's career and his experience, but do you think signing with them is going to get you onto these? Because they do quite a few shows with MVP as well, am I right? I know.
Yeah, he's
I believe that.
Gemma Richardson.
yeah, they're linked somewhere with MVP, helping them over in England. Obviously, MVP's more of a American thing.
So ticket selling, I mean, you won't have a problem with it in the region, but do you think that'll be a little bit of a struggle for you on them shows? Oh, you signed though, aren't you? So
I'll come and watch you.
I might.
Well, he's been all the way down to Ali Pali to watch us.
Yeah,
Like,
been all over.
It obviously it might be a bit harder because it's a bit further, but you don't really know until I have my debut. I'd like to think I'll do well for tickets. But obviously things might not go as well as I thought. But
you did mention on the interview that I had with you when you when you announced it, that you took quite a big group down with you, didn't you, to the national
yeah,
final.
like that was brilliant. And what's that, like an hour and a half?
Yeah,
an hour 45. I took like 45. I took a bus full down to Brilliant.
You have a lot of people that's backers, and I think it goes back to just being out the way in Barney. I think that's a tight knit. Do you know what I mean?
So that's the thing with Barney. Everyone knows everyone.
You've grown up in the town as well, haven't you? So everyone.
Yeah, I've grown up. Me dad's been a builder in that town for 40, 50 years. My mum's always been in that town, worked in that town. Same with my sister. So like, everyone just knows everyone. Everyone's backed me anyway.
Yeah.
So I think the way I'd like to hope it'll be the same in the pros.
Take us back, because I know there was again, I'm just reflecting on that interview we had, because it's probably one of the prominent times that I've actually got to know you in that interview. And there was a part of it where you mentioned about where your dad just used to drop you off outside the gym and you come out crying. So just talk a little bit about that.
Well, he's always said it's just a story he always says. Apparently when I first asked to come, he messaged and spoke to Craig and said he's going to come, I'll wait outside 20 minutes, and just when he starts crying, send him out. But obviously, I probably did cry that session, but I didn't come out. I probably cried for every session for the next 5 years after that, but I still loved it at the same time.
Yeah, but he would be like 10-year-old, right? He'd have a spar, he'd absolutely punch the lips off some kid, he'd maybe get one on the nose, and he would cry because he got caught.
Adrenaline.
He would cry because he got caught, and because he was such a good athlete and he was good at everything, he wasn't used to have like feeling having to be resilient, but that's what moulded you. And like now definitely. You've never seen heart like it. Like you've got bags and bags of heart, and he's not bothered about getting a scrap now. But it's just that's why.
Gets embedded in.
That's why I'm so close with him, because I've watched him go from this like little timid kid who was like all skin and bones to now this big lump of a middleweight who likes to have a scrap.
I bet that's weird for you to see as well. Like just obviously over the years, how he's grown into who he is now. But just because I mentioned there that this is probably like my first time getting to know you properly away. If you take us away from boxing and how you brought up in terms of like school and stuff like that, just tell us about that and where it all started really.
Always been in Barney really. Went to primary school in Barney, went to secondary school in Barney. Always lived in Barney. Did a bit of karate for about. Might have been. Don't think I ever did it. No. I think I did it for about a month until my dad bought us all the gear, and then I could go and do my WWE moves on the couch and that. Got all that gear in.
Them now.
Yeah, and then quit. Don't know how it really came about. Asked me dad to take us up the boxing gym, and 10 years later now. That's been it.
So just going on like normal school and just
normal school, normal. I had a obviously lovely upbringing.
He looks like you went to a posh boy school though, doesn't he?
Right.
No problem with me upbringing. Teesdale, yeah. Not Barney private.
Just shook that in there. Just so everyone knows.
Barney's top end anyway. It's a lovely place. I think it's lush. Like
I've never really left. Never in any bother like Nathan.
Way. Just a little bit.
I remember Nathan back in the day, mate.
Yeah.
I remember Nathan back in the day.
Never really.
The wine bar was a popular place down Barney. Is that still going now?
No. There's a pub there, but
not because of me.
But so when you started getting confident in the gym, you stopped crying. You started to love it and that. What age were you and like when did you decide that that's what you wanted to just do like full time?
I couldn't tell you pinpoint it, but I had a good run in the schoolboys, and I think even maybe I thought it, I think maybe even Craig thought it. The year before I'd missed weight somehow and ended up pulling out because we didn't think I was quite ready for the weight above.
Crisps and turkey dinosaurs all the time.
And I wasn't using the right scales, so my scales were wrong, so I'd come and weighed in the complete wrong weight, and I got pulled out with them schoolboys because I wasn't quite ready. And then the year after it was just perfect. I won the region, stopped the kid in the region, got out of the pre-quarters beating a kid from Birmingham, and then I boxed Hamilton Joyce, who you might know, in the quarters at Bridlington. And I think I'd only had 6-7 fights maybe.
Yeah, Hamilton was
and I think him at the time, he was 17, 18 and 0.
Yeah.
And we were thinking maybe this is too soon. I went out and he won, which was I think fair enough.
I still stand. I thought you beat him. It was a good bout, but I thought you'd done enough.
And he went on. I think he went all the way up to about 29 and 0. Won the rest of them. Won Tri-Nations. Went through there, and I think after that was it. I was in the juniors also.
So there's a point there then in your career where you thought, right, I've got a talent here.
Yeah,
it's something that I want to do, pursue for the rest of my life.
I never quite believed that maybe I was that level. I still think, even as a youth, I never quite thought I was at that level, but I think that time I proved it.
Yeah, I think it's because you've got, like I say, guidance from Craig and Nathan and that who were telling you. You don't really get that in a lot of gyms. The gym I was in, it was kind of like there was a lot of kids there, so there was a few of you that might have gone on to do like what you were doing, but you didn't really have that close knit guidance to tell you right now's the time kind of thing. Like I don't know if we would have had that right, like what you got with Craig telling you that now was the right time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't. I think these bigger gyms and that you've got to stand out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've got to be.
The thing is with Craig though, he watches pro boxing as much as he watches amateur boxing, and he's a boxing fanatic. He's a bit of a boxing historian as well. Really.
I think you could quiz him on anything.
Yeah. If you got him on here, you could ask him a question about there was a middleweight British title fight in 19. He'd go straight away. It was between these people.
Yeah.
He knows, and he's boxing's his life, and boxing's he's everything. So Craig will have already had in his head when would be the right time for him to turn over, when would be the right time for me, and when he'll have already had it in his head when would be the right time. So, and obviously he doesn't sugarcoat now, and he'll say I don't think it's quite right for you yet, and I'll say the other.
Yeah, like if he'd said a no to me that night, he said if he didn't think I was ready, I'd have listened to him, because I'd honestly trust Craig with whatever he thinks about boxing, because he's so knowledgeable about it.
Respect as well, isn't it? You respect his decisions.
And he's seen us from 10-year-old.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Nathan said, you want someone in the corner that knows you.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Trust.
Yeah.
So I know that if I was ever in a position to make a decision or something like that, Craig would know what to do.
But like I say, just for the people watching who don't know you're outside of boxing, what does life look like for the Perrys? I know you want to go in it first, George, in your work life. Do you live in your own place?
Yeah, me and my girlfriend moved out about a year ago, got my own place in West Auckland. I'm a mechanical engineer at Ineos, doing an apprenticeship there. But apart from that, and then just train.
So
life's pretty boring.
It's hard. It's obviously hard for you. Then you've got your own place, your own responsibilities. You work full time, and now you turn over in the gym. The training's about to ramp up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like having the backing from local businesses, sponsors, and that crucial at this point, because if you can knock your hours down at work, it means more time in the gym, more time to put Barney on the map, like you said. You know what I mean? So. Right now is the most important time in your career to get the backing that you need to.
The amount of people I've had reach out has been like unbelievable. I said with Barney, everyone knows.
Since our announcement.
Yeah. Like since we put that video on, I've maybe gained 5 or 6 sponsors. It's been.
There's the power of social media.
It's been unbelievable. I think you doing that's helped us out massively. Like if I was going around and just put a normal post on, just writing saying right, I'm turning professional.
The difference.
Yeah. Does anyone want to sponsor us? Maybe you feel would have, but. That video makes it look more
real.
More real.
We've been talking shit now for an hour and 20 minutes. People will watch this to the very end, just because they've been watching from afar and they want to know what you're like. Like personally, do you know what I mean?
Nosy bastards.
Nosy bastards, a lot of years. But no, but this is why I like to go into a bit away from the boxing, because people might just see a forfeit like just boxing, that's all he ever does. But it's not. Reality of it is life goes on, you know what I mean? You've still got things you need to tend to, still got responsibilities, a job, money that you need to bring in to pay bills, and now Nathan's got a kid, you know what I mean? So for you, Nathan, like what I know what life looks like. I've been on over the fells, mate, on the quad and that. I've seen it's quite a nice place compared to in the council estate and that. But what's your life like outside of boxing?
My life would be chaos even without boxing, to be honest. I've never been diagnosed, but I've definitely got something that doesn't let me chill out.
Autism there, maybe?
Yeah, maybe something like that. But if I'm not messing about with it's something with wheels, whether it's a quad or a bike or a car or something like that, I'm either messing about with stuff like that. Obviously, I've been a mechanic since I left school. Straight away as soon as I left school, got an apprenticeship and that. So that's all I've ever done is being a mechanic. I've never been out of work, always done it alongside the boxing as well. So if I'm not messing about with cars, I would either, obviously, like I had horses for a lot of years when I was younger. I don't so much now because I've never have time for it really, but like that's still a part of me of my life, sort of the farming side of it, because I do come from a farming family. I have 2 border collies, Blue and Fly, who's my best pals, come to work with us every day.
Very obedient, by the way. Most obedient dogs I've ever met.
Yeah, they're good dogs. Good dogs. They like come for runs with us and all stuff like that. I'll go hiking in the Lake District with them, and not to forget the most important part of my life is my wife and my little boy. So I always try and, which is hard, trying to find a bit of time to go to work and earn a few quid, which I've just opened a garage, so it's very important.
Plug that and where it's based, just for
Forrest Motorworks, Bishop Auckland, anything to do with a spanner or welding or out like that. We've got wheels, I can fix it. Like trying to run my own business and then trying to box as well without neglecting my home life. I've got a mortgage to pay as well. Like there's plenty of pressure on, but I love it. I do love it. I thrive under it. To be fair,
sane, do you know what I mean?
Like I love being busy. I love doing different things. Like I've got so much on, and obviously I was meant to box like last weekend. It didn't end up happening, but I've been training that much, and then I'm going to Scotland this weekend on a trip with the lads. We've bought cheap banger cars and we're going to go up around Scotland.
If you don't follow the page, you need to follow it because that looks class.
Yeah, it's going to be good crack. It is going to be good crack, and we're going to document it all. But like I've always got something to do. I've always got something exciting to do. But the bit about my life that I cherish the most is definitely me wife and my little lad. Like them, that's the thing I genuinely love spending time doing more than anything. Like
your theme has been, and I know for the most previous fighters is like country style. You like country music. You've got a country like kit and that. I know, but just for the people who don't know, like what is it about the countryside? I know you've been brought up like in a farm sort of oriented area, and you do live where you live is quite like. I'm out in the countryside. I've always lived out in the countryside. I lived on a council estate very briefly when I moved out with my dad's in with my mum. Lived on a council estate for a few years, so like it's not like I don't know what it's like, but my life just I'm always in the countryside. The country music and the stuff like that, I've always listened to country music, to tell the truth. My mum always used to listen to it in the car. No, it always comes from your childhood.
It's like you don't get us wrong. When I was a teenager, I was an MC. I was into rave music, spitting rhymes. I could tell you.
I think I remember actually.
Yeah, I could tell you all the words to every.
I could do it bar for bar. Like,
could you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like to be fair, I was.
I've seen you and Lewis Emery going at it a few times, like when we were kids.
Probably. I was in everything, whether it was MC, rave or rap or anything like that, but like country music's always been like my favourite, and the country music's relatable. Everyone, and the country's back in fashion now.
It actually is, yeah.
It is really back in fashion, and Luke Combs has got a lot to do with it, to be fair. Like But I'm not just saying it. I love country back when country wasn't cool.
Yeah.
I did.
With Zach Bryan there before he was massive.
Yeah,
one of my favourite songs.
It's funny, because in school I used to wear TNs. I used to have a rucksack on, and I used to have a short back and sides, and people used to jip us for it because everyone had a Justin Bieber haircut, a man bag, and sambas on, and then
what were they called, plimsolls?
And then everyone went to wearing TNs and stuff like that, and then getting a short haircut, like short fades and that.
There was a time in human history where there was plimsolls, Rihanna t-shirts. Toms.
Everyone had Toms.
Chinos,
yeah.
I don't know if
yeah, chinos and that.
Class.
No, I was. Everyone was wearing the shit flickers in school and that.
Yeah.
I still had the Timberland boots on.
Yeah.
But yeah, just going back to the music thing. Like, I've always loved country music, really, and like everyone, to be a pro. A little bit of advice for young pros turning over: if you can try and have a bit of a gimmick or a bit of a theme around you, it will help you, because that's what stands out for people. And it was Big Steve Robinson. I saw him talking. It was maybe on a podcast or an interview, and he'd said like the Disney Drago. Like he'd said like, I sort of realised this and thought this could actually be a real good gimmick. And everyone, people will know him as the Disney Drago before they'll know him as Stephen Robinson, won't they? 100%. So I thought, well, like when you turn over and you fill your form out to be a pro, it has on it like alias or like what you want to go by. So like your nickname, like
the hallucinator.
The hallucinator.
Given by him.
Yeah, Hal Pacino.
Yeah.
So if you want a nickname like the Engine Jason Cumming or the Sandman Lewis Ritson, or like everyone's. I thought, like, I don't have one.
Did you put one down or not?
Nah, I didn't put one down. I just wanted to be Nathan Forrest. Like, I've never had a nickname. I almost gave you one the other day,
like the mechanic, but no one was buying into it. I don't
know why. Shite. Shite, to be honest. The mechanic, what's he going to do? Eat with a spanner? Like, never really had a gimmick, so yeah. So the country thing, I thought, well, it's me. Like, that genuinely is my personality.
Yeah, class. But I think I'll bring Ali in, because the first time he came on, he didn't really say. I think he said like 2 words or something.
Maybe 3.
Yeah, maybe 3. But
there as many shots as he throws it around.
There is a few things I want to ask you, actually, because we've been a bit absent from each other, I'd say, over the past couple of months. Since you went to Barney and that, I've kind of let you just crack on and get locked in.
Slink.
Last time I seen you out was against Lawrence Fair on the Kenton show.
Yeah.
Didn't get what you wanted, but it was a good fight. Something that you learned from, I think. Or at least I hope that you learn from. And
learn from every fight.
And a fight that you'd go back into, and I think you'd do well against. I mean, the last guest I on was Kai, and he mentioned about that fight happening again and not being a sparring session for Lawrence. So what would you kind of say to that?
I think it's pretty unfair to say, since for anyone who knows, as I had the Bairn the same week.
Yeah.
So
well, probably people don't know that, so just
no. I mean, I'd like to see any one of them have the first kid and then box on the same week and try and put a good performance on.
And you weren't your best. I can vouch.
No, I was a shell of myself, to be honest.
Me and him weren't pals at the time, because he said something upset me and I fucking said something upset him. That's the relationship we have, kind of thing. But we weren't pals at the time, and I was actually sat in the corner working the show, and I was watching him getting pummeled, and I was getting frustrated.
I wasn't pummeled.
No, but I was watching you getting a few slight shots in, you know what I mean? And even though I was like, kind of wanted it, I was getting annoyed at the same time. So I was thinking, fuck's sake, do this, do that, because there's so much work that we've done behind the scenes.
No,
I mean, that wasn't happening. And I knew there was more in you. It just wasn't coming off, and it was like, it was a bit sweet, because I was like, kind of
fucking pellet.
But he didn't get it.
He hasn't listened to a word I've said in that gym.
Yeah, I thought he was doing it to piss us off even more, you know what I mean? But anyway, he didn't get it. It's a fight that a lot of people want to see, and they kind of love Triangle at the minute, because Callum Foster's there as well. He wants to fight with a rematch with Lawrence after getting beat on the last Kenton show. So there's 2 fights for you to go out there. I know you've not got the decision with either one of them, but it was a good fight. Well, both fights were good fights, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The first one with Callum was for a belt, the Tandies and Weir Regional. Lawrence has now got that, so which one first?
Any. I'd like to box Lawrence again, just to put it right, because I'd probably say he beat like a 40% me.
Right.
Like
I was flat.
I was running on no sleep. the night before I went in the gym to do a sharpener, went on the pads with Neil, I had nothing, I was fucked. I couldn't breathe. It was just
I don't think I could do 3 threes the week I had my little lad. Like
that was around the time as well that you were thinking like changing gyms and stuff, and you weren't really settled with it.
I didn't want to change at that point, but yeah, I had way more important stuff on my mind. I had my little girl, like she's the most important thing, and probably shouldn't have boxed, to be honest, but I just wanted to box at the Fed.
And I know leading up to it as well, like you weren't obviously doing much for natural reasons. You weren't doing much with any boxing side of things, so I knew you were out of fettle, you know what I mean? And I even said to you, I don't think you should be boxing. That was part of the reason.
People did.
No, wasn't it? Like, the part of the reason because I look at things on the outside, away from boxing, away from whatever goes into it, as a mate. Yeah. And I thought as a mate, it was right, you shouldn't have boxed, because I knew I wouldn't see the best. And that was, and we started fucking arguing about all this stuff, but anyway, we move on to other things, but that's where kind of the last time I kind of spoke to you, and the last time, well, not spoke to you, but the last time we were like talking every day kind of thing. You're a dad now. I'm proud of you, by the way, for doing all that. I didn't think I didn't, but you do. But what's that been like, and how was it being a dad? Do you know what I mean?
It's the best thing in the world, but it can be challenging at times. Obviously, you're buff and all that.
Yeah,
but it's like, unless you have never had a kid, like you can't explain the feelings. Like better than any high you can get. Like it's just the best.
It's hard, but especially when you're having changes, active changes going in your life, going to another gym, you started a new job. Well, not a new job, but a new company you kind of work for, or whatever. Just want to put a bit of light on that.
Well, I think at the same time as well, like I'd done everything at once. Like we bought a house, and then before we'd even moved into the house, we found out she was pregnant. Like fucking hell. So I'd say I've had a bit of pressure on us, to be fair. Working a lot of hours, weekends and that, but it's worth it.
Which does put you on the back foot. It does give you a disadvantage when you go into fights with lads who don't have the same. You know what I mean? I don't know what their situations are. They might have full-time jobs, they might have babies. I wouldn't know, but it does have an effect. You know what I mean? 100%. Especially when it's happening at the current time when you're boxing them. So confident enough in saying that you're going to go into the rematch with a pair of them and put on a better performance. It might not be a win, it's the amateurs.
He's going to be a different lad next time on.
I could tell you that. Like
definitely.
Well, there you go.
The changes he's made in the gym in the last, like he's only been training with us 3 or 4 months. The changes he's made in the gym already, you're starting to see a different Hal.
And these will see it a lot more than what I did with children, because it's less obvious. You know what I mean? And there's less going on. Don't have shows to be locking
like
on.
I'd say you could watch him now, and like the key word I'll use is he's able to adapt. Whatever style. Obviously we all know he can box. He can really box. Like he's smart, his IQ's good, but he can have a fight now.
Do you feel like you're stronger behind his shots?
Definitely.
Not even just through stronger through training, but through his technique and everything. He's changed his technique and
just stripped it back.
And don't get us wrong, there's still work to do.
100%.
There's still work to do, but like you can just see it starting to click for him, and he's going to be a different lad come the new season.
So when we left off, the always thing is similar to yourself, Nath, like me and him kind of locked in from early doors. When he came from Maycliffe, I felt like it was my duty to, like, because I'd asked him to come over, I kind of felt like I had to look after him, to make sure he not necessarily got the guidance. I didn't have loads of fights, but I had enough to kind of make sure that he was going to be all right, kind of thing, not getting mismatched and stuff like that. I didn't have too much involvement in the matchmaking, but if I knew he was up against a hard kid, then we'd put the extra work in, do the overtime kind of thing. But the idea was always to turn over, and that's something we spoke about like fairly frequently. We always speak about when would the right time be and what he wanted to do. We haven't got the best of, I know it's not a record in the amateurs, but we haven't got the best sort of ratio. And that was something that we wanted to like get by, because I know the board can be a bit funny. I know Joe Bailey's had the problem of getting his licence and that,
which is
stupid. Stupid.
Absolutely stupid.
It is stupid.
We all know. I've known Joe Bailey from probably the first years I started boxing. Joe Bailey has fought everyone.
He's boxed
anyone
at the
that's
top
put in
level.
front of him, he's boxed. He's always boxed at the same level I have.
I think they just say what's on paper, don't they?
It's
what comes
down mental.
I sparred him the other week. I thought, how on earth have they queried you over your record? Like he's fantastic. He's going to be a very good pro. And frustrating.
Hi people, hope you're enjoying the podcast so far. We're now offering adverts on our podcast, 10, 30 or 60 second intervals for your company. We can come out and do a full video of your business and showcase it here on the Bullsh Club podcast. So stick around, enjoy the rest of the podcast, and if you're interested, please message at @NEBoxing on Instagram. Thank you. So that was always the idea. So with your experience, the both of you, like, how far realistically would you say he's off from what you have gathered from where he's at, kind of thing now?
At least a season.
At least a season.
At least a season. It would be.
I always say you need a busy season. Like he's had busy seasons, but a busy season of like try and get a good run in the championship, something like that.
Yeah.
That's when I learned the most.
Yeah.
When you've got 5-6 fights week in, week out, you're fighting different styles every week.
Yeah.
Chucked in the deep end type thing, aren't you?
But it's not. But at the same time, it's not rushing it. And if it gets through the season, and you're not ready.
Yeah.
Just have that bit about you.
These will tell us that, and that's the thing I like. Like, he'll tell us the first person when I'm doing something wrong.
Shite.
Yeah.
Pretty right though. That's what you mean,
I'm not negative. I'll say like positive reinforcement.
Yeah. I think it's one thing that the audience have, because people have getting to know us, you know, in this whole 8 months, whatever it's been since we started. People are getting to know us, whether it's through interviews or like the first episode podcast or whatever else. They know our relationship a little bit, not the biggest that we have on that, but they know a little bit about us and that. And there was a point in time where you pulled away from the NE boxing side of things, because it is a really time consuming. There's a lot goes into it. It's not just putting in social media posts up. There's going out to the gyms, getting the content like we did with George. Like, there's a lot of effort goes into this, and not a lot of pullback out of it. We have sponsors and that, and we're grateful for everyone who's got behind us and helped us out with it. But it's the same. It's the same in across boxing, across the board. You've got to go out and get it. You know what I mean? You don't get things given. You've got to prove your worth, and we did that from the start. Yeah. We went out and we put the overtime in. We're leaving workmen's clubs at like 3 o'clock in the morning and shit, just packing up and going to Billingham and building like amateur fights. You know, with Cammy and William Tyers, and that was good. Yeah, and obviously the Adam fight on the Job show and that. Like, there was a point in time where you pulled away and you decided you want to go back to boxing. I think that's always been your thing. Yeah. When NE boxing came about, it was such a rapid growth. It just became overwhelming very quick. And I think that wasn't your purpose.
You can't do everything, can you?
No, there's just too much to do, and the goal has always been, from when I started boxing, I want to be a professional boxer. And
I knew that. I knew that it was, even though it's frustrating, because I all of a sudden had shared weight all at once onto me, kind of thing. I had a responsibility, because we started picking up sponsorships and that, and we were making a name. I thought I can't just wrap it in now. You know what I mean? There's people who've been waiting for this for ages. So I had to keep it going. And you've obviously been at a distance in the group chat and watching everything that's going on.
I always read it, like
people coming and going.
Nosy bastard.
That's what we're going to call this episode. But people coming and going. You've seen like people who's used us for what they've needed us for, and then fucked us off. And what's that been like for you? Like seeing that from a distance.
I don't really know, to be fair. It's hard to sort of say. Like, it's up to them what they want to go and do.
It's hard for you in your position, because you did this, like you knew what was right for you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a bit of a hard one, that, mate, to be honest.
What I do want to address is just while we're on here. There's been a bit of confusion recently. Usually I've got young Chris sat here, and you know, Chris is a credit to himself. He came in. He's a young lad. He got in front of a camera for the first time back in April on the Bullsh show.
Because of me, that, actually.
It's because of for the both of us, though. He
was I forgot his name. Adrian Redman. He just boxed, and I said, "Hey, why don't you do this interview?" I don't know. And then you done it and smashed it.
He did it, and then he did Henry Mann after that. And I said, "Look, doesn't need to go on your edge, get and see how you feel, and go in and do it." So he did it, and then after that, I knew he was young. I knew he needed the confidence and that, and I thought,
is that why he's called Young Chris?
Yeah. So 100%. I know it's daft, but it is. You know what I mean? I knew it would work, and it did. And I thought, you know what it is? I'm going to help him out. I want him to. Well, my idea is always, I've always wanted NE boxing to run on its own, so I can go out the region, I can go and get in front of the right people, and hopefully get on with a zone one day, or a big organisation like that. But my idea was always to get NE boxing to run like simultaneously on its own. So when I come across Chris, I thought, you know what it is? He's the lad to do it. Like, Hal's took a step back, he wants to box and that. I'll always support him, I'll always do what he needs to do, again where he needs to be, sponsorships and all that carry on. But I thought, you know what, this lad Chris loves the game, never boxed a day in his life, He loves the game. He loves everything about it. He knows everything about it. It was ideal, and he did. And I blew smoke up his ass. I said, young Chris, like some boy, and every day I was calling him some boy. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause I thought I had a lot of time for him for what he was doing and that. And then, you know, things happen the way they do. With any boxing, I've always been like, not a dedicator, but I've always knew the route I've wanted to go down, and I've always stuck to my morals in the fact that not about money. Money helps because I've got a 1-year-old, I've got a bairn at home, I've got responsibilities, but it's about getting the kids in the gym, noticing that boxing's are different to any other sport because it implies different morals that you take on throughout your adulthood for when you get older and that, but also recognising the talent that we have here in the region. So ticket sellers and the business side of boxing can have a bit of helping hand, and it's not solely down to the boxer to provide that, because you've got to train, not alone do all the other shite. You know what I mean? If you're not signed, you've got to do what's more important so you don't get your head braid in. So I thought, if I can, because I can't box, we know why I can't box, a lot of people do now, but because I can't do that, I thought, what can I bring to the table that can help everyone else out?
Yeah,
you know
try and build everyone else's profile for them.
So that's what I did, and because I thought of that idea, I think we've come across people, and I say we because we started. You know what I mean? I think we'll always have that connection, and the fact that we know why we did it, we know why we started, and we know why it needs to keep going. People have seen what we've built, and they kind of wish that they did it. So it's made our lives hard. Do you know what I mean? People have come and gone. I'm not saying young Chris did that. I think young Chris has always wanted to do his own thing. But any boxing was the platform he needed to be able to establish himself and get himself out there.
Fair play. It's the same in any trade though. Anyone who goes to work, if you're ambitious and you're good at something, you won't stay working for somewhere for long, because if you think, same as me, I've just set away my own business. I've worked for garages for 10, 11 years, and I've always thought like, I could go and run my own garage. Like when the time come and I seen the opportunity, I thought, right, that's what I'm going to do.
Well, Parsons, who he hyped up like Eddie Hearn down south. So he worked at Boxing Social. He did the same thing. Now Boxing Social went massive. They're on like hundreds of thousands of followers and that. You know what I mean? They're probably one of the biggest channels in the UK. Now he worked for them, and then he sees the opportunity later on when he did get big. Now, if you know what it is, if he was to tell us this was going to happen, and he used to say, Dylan, right, look, this is my idea, I want to go off and do my own thing, I'd say, right, let me tell you when. A bit like you're doing now, now's the right time to turn over. I'd have guided them, but it didn't happen that way. I wish all the best of luck in the world here, but you're out on your own now, do you know what I mean? And that's the reality of it. This is my thing. This is the first time this has happened in the North East in this day and age, with a social media page. It's just solely for the North East.
Yeah, it has been a massive help for North East boxing, like, because we're a forgotten region. Like, so even the big shows we have up here, IFL's never here, Boxing Social's never here, do you know what I mean? So like, fair play to what you're doing.
The show must go on, and the show will always go on, and whether that's with me or not, me and you, we founded it, you know what I mean? We'll continue have that title or whatever, but hopefully one day this keeps going, you know what I mean? I do want to get signed with the Zone one day, but we'll see what comes, you know what I mean? But we'll move on to the questions that I have for the both of you. So what's the funniest thing that's happened so far? One story that stands out from the rest.
What's the funniest thing? George is better at remembering stuff like this.
There's a few.
There's quite a few, to be fair.
It's not funny, but it is looking back. On the way up to Aberdeen, sparring, Dan Jackson's in the back of the car, me and him. I've got my earphones in, Richard and Craig are in the front. Dan starts choking on Skittles. I'm sort of completely oblivious to it. Richard's asking Dan if he's okay, he's going red, he's about to choke on Skittles. I'm just looking at my phone here, not realising. Realise Dan's gone about purple, choking on Skittles, just freeze completely. Eventually he gets the Skittles out, but Richard's about to drive the car off the road.
You put us on the spot, and you did send us the questions over before, and I should have thought of one, but like, to be fair, whenever we go away somewhere, whether it's sparring or boxing, we're
always laughing.
Always laughing. It's just normal for us to be, if we're not taking the mick out of each other or saying something funny, we're always having a laugh. Like,
there's one that I've put in here, but I think you've already answered it, and I don't think I pick up that vibe, but I might be wrong. Do you have any arguments in the gym?
No. We do have debates because there's that many different lads in the gym, like that have all different perspectives of life. We do have debates, but like it's never ever like we never ever fall out
it's
like
never
that.
about boxing no either.
I feel like falling out with you when you fucking sat outside the gym with us for an hour going on about
Wasn't an hour though, was it?
half an hour.
Nah, I just like healthy debates, but no, we never ever argue. Never.
I asked this one on the last episode with Kai and Bobby, but I'm going to ask you because you have known each other for a long time. I've known you for a couple of years now. You've got father and your son and that. So you can answer to each other, and then I'll answer to Hal. But if there was one thing that you could change about each other, what would it be?
What would I change about you? I don't know really.
Do you want to go first, George? It might be funny like that. You go first.
I'll wait for hours.
Is there a list like?
Oh man.
What could I do something just to annoy him? Just change something.
What like what do not something I think he needs to improve on, just something I would change.
Like could I just make you like just 3 inches smaller just to piss you off even a bit more?
Yeah, I would probably make him a foot smaller just so we're on a level playing field because he's a bit tall. Like,
go on, lad. Go on.
Where do I start, man? Sometimes I just wish you'd fuck off, like trying to like, tell us what to do.
Fair enough.
Like when we first started doing like the boxing, that we wear whatever we wanted, like whatever clothes. Because
I'm regimented like that. If I know something needs to be.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
You're not in the army anymore, mate.
I know, but it lives on, doesn't it?
So we got the hoodies. I thought, fair enough. I can still wear whatever bottoms of whatever I want. He's like. Then he comes and
that's probably
says,
what I changed about you.
No, but then you're like, you've got to wear fucking black.
I'd probably say I wish you were more on the ball like that. So maybe he's a fucking jigsaw there.
That's why I fucked off.
That's why we clash.
Because we just
that's why we argue.
I wish you wouldn't put your fucking bag in front of the ring.
Now, we're kind of worms.
Everyone does that in the gym. I put my bag in the back room, and everyone puts the bag in front of the ring, and the gym's not massive, and it makes the gym like 4 foot smaller because everyone's bags is out like that. George has got his head guard over there. He's got 3 pair of gloves out. He's got a set of trainers over there, so there's no room.
I've actually got one.
The whole kind of worms here, like
be able to do light sparring.
Oh,
it's impossible.
Oh my god, let me tell you.
It's impossible.
No,
like you can do light sparring, but like you can't do light sparring.
No,
it's impossible.
Yeah, but you can't with him because he's 7 foot tall. So he's just gonna. All he has to do is that. So it's pointless even doing it. So if I'm gonna slip and bang one in, like I don't hit him that hard. What he's basically saying is I hit too hard for him. That's what he's saying.
So let's just take you back to about a month ago. Come to the gym.
It's only 2 weeks ago, that man.
No. I did about 4 rounds sparring. I can't remember if it was with Jed or Aaron, but
I know exactly what this is.
And then I done 3 frees on the pads with Craig, so it's a good workout so far. And he's like, right, we'll go outside, do a bit of shoulder sparring. I done a round with young Ethan, is that his name, the tall one? Yeah. And then he went home early. He's like, right, you go with Nathan. I was like, alright, I'll get some good tech off here. We'll get a bit, get it going. He's gone, boom, on my shoulder. Fucking hell.
I've got a good jab. I've got a good jab.
Quite funny, good joke. Then he went, boom, boom. Alright, right, you're fucking joking. And then he hit us with about 6 hooks. He's like, boom, boom, boom. And I seen him and Craig fucking laughing.
Me and Dan were laughing because me and Dan, when we like everyone else was on a show span, like he's like you're doing like little thing. And all of a sudden you could just hear behind you Nathan going, bah, 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 bah.
Listen, you outfight a boxer and you outbox a fighter, and he's a boxer, so I was outfighting him.
Yeah.
In shoulder sparring.
Yeah, in shoulder sparring.
We've all done it with Nathan, so we knew exactly, but it was Hal's first experience, so we all found it really funny.
What's the saying? You jump in the sea, you're going to get wet, aren't you?
It is,
yeah, exactly. I'm just trying to help you level up, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Cheers. One shoulders in the gym the night before as well.
He was trying to give as good as he got. It wasn't like after I took the first jab, he was going light, because he was trying to give it back, but he couldn't.
Fair enough.
After you nearly took my shoulder off.
Pushing on 2 hours, so I've got the opposite side of it. So what's one thing, used to answer, what's one thing that you're proud about for each other so far?
I cried when he won a national title. I genuinely did. I was stood at the ringside, and I was getting all choked up because I'd seen him come from this little kid, and he'd always been in national finals and national semis, and like just missing out, or maybe just not quite getting the decision. And I had that much belief in him, and I would tell everyone how good he is. And when he finally won that national youth title, it was just a wave of emotion come over. Because I wouldn't say I am emotional, but I do wear my heart on my sleeve a bit. And I was just so proud of him because he'd done it. He'd finally done it. It'd been a long time coming, and genuinely, I was tearing up, and I started crying.
Yeah. Honestly, that day, so I got the decision. I go over to Craig. I'm crying. Get out the ring.
Adrenaline as well, innit?
Get myself back all right. Hug Nathan. Fucking hell, start crying again. Hug Richard, crying again. Get the belt. Fucking hell, crying again. And then I go out, and then who's the first person you see? Me dad, Charlotte, Ishmael, Dan. Fucking hell, I'm off again. Get myself sorted. Mum's ringing us. Oh, I'm going again. Like I was just constantly
sessions and sessions.
If he'd won a schoolboy title or something like that, like it maybe you wouldn't have been on it, but like it'd have been a long time coming, and we knew you had one in you.
Yeah. And what about you and Nathan? Because obviously you've seen him become a father.
I was about to say that's mine. Like I've seen Nathan. Right, Nathan's, like we said, he's like my big brother. He's like a bit of a father figure to us as well. Yeah. Seeing him have that little bairn, honestly, it's unbelievable. Like, just seeing the bairn is Nathan as well. Looks exactly like Nathan. His little smile, like obviously, and Charlotte. Charlotte's been around the boxing room. Just seeing them two, like, it's proud. It is
wholesome, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, do you want me to go? I'll go first.
You can go first, mate. Yeah.
I'm proud of you because when I met you. You weren't the man you are now.
Big jacket.
But genuinely, no disrespect, but you're not. You are a man now. You know what I mean? You weren't a man then. You weren't a man then. I think maybe it's a little bit to do with the experiences I'd had or whatever, and we were close back then. You know what I mean? Back then it was like last year or whatever, but we were close. I'd tell you a lot about my experiences, and then you would counteract, and there was things that I knew you listened to. You know what I mean? I could see it happening in your life, and to see it now, having it in your own house, going about your own thing, you've got starting your own little company thing, painting and decorating.
What are you proud of Dylan for?
Go on, probably not like.
no, there's a lot to be fair. Just don't like telling you. But the main one is probably. If
you watch on that camera there, you see his head just starting to go.
Probably, mate. If it goes out of shot, let us know.
Definitely any boxing thing would be the main one. Just
keep it going.
That you've stuck it out. Like, there's been a lot of setbacks in that. I just think you've done a good job. Like,
yeah, you have like fair play.
I say it's fair. I never not give me credit to like you and Jack and that though, because
a lot of late nights.
I would never be able to get it where it is now if it wasn't for them. That period of our life was just non-stop, and I had a burn on that as well. So I was like, mate, I've nearly lost my family over this shit.
There was some bad old fucking time.
I've had some. Any domestic, fuck me. That's where it stemmed from. But a few more just before we wrap it up, because I knew it was going to be a long episode, like, but 2 hours. For the people that's asked, so I put every episode I put out questions for people to ask. Hal had asked why Nathan was touching George's ass. That was an AI
picture on the screen.
Because I took away Bruce because I wanted them to on it. It looked like he was touching his ass.
He is touching his ass, but there's no lip like it. His hand is on his ass. Why?
And then
which picture?
I've edited Frank Bruno.
Let me get up.
You've edited Frank Bruno.
I have to.
No.
Yeah. I didn't want
picture.
I didn't want people to think Frank Bruno was on the podcast.
I didn't think anyone had caught us taking the picture.
I don't know how it looks like he's on his arse. Like,
look at his hand.
Because the picture's AI. That's why it looks like
AI.
The picture's AI. That's why it looks like I'm touching his ass. How pervert are you? AI, make it look like Nathan's touching George's ass.
That's
Bruno.
What you've done.
Yeah,
but you're still touching his ass.
But I wasn't though.
But you
Bruno was in the middle of us.
It doesn't look like his hand's there. But to be fair,
it's Frank Bruno's hand. Why was Frank Bruno touching your arms? Frank must have liked him.
He must have long arms.
Yeah, exactly. What, next question?
Who brays who in sparring? But you've already answered that, I think.
It's like Gatty Ward, me and him.
Me and Aaron would spars.
I can't listen over like 3 or 4 rounds. He pings me, but over longer rounds, it's a lot more even.
Hey, similar weights, I guess.
Nah,
we've had periods where we were like when I was in the youth.
We will have brought each other on in the gym when we've sort of crossed over weights and like been near enough ages. But like obviously he's massive now, so he's hard to get near. But we'd like if Craig says to us like you can have an open spar and like I get right on him and he has to trade with us, or he's keeping me at length, like he'll jab my head off and then I'll be whacking the body, and then like we do have a good spar.
But then they like the ways like we've said where I've learned how to box on the inside. That's from doing stuff with him, doing stuff with Dan. Like Dan's very good on the inside as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've grown up sparring Dan. That was why I cried all the time. It was always fucking Dan, and Dan's always been unbelievable on the inside. So like with them
I want to shed a bit more light on as well as he maybe this season, because I don't think he's had a lot of it. So I know the hard thing is that you don't do shows, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if I can get out to a show that he's on, class, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
If you let us know when he's boxing, because now it's gone back to just me, and it is just me for people watching. Jack does bits and bobs, but he works long hours. Hal's obviously, well, you listen to what Hal's doing, but I'm on my own now. So in terms of going out to amateur clubs and that, I'm very limited in what I can do, but I will do my best. Whether it's recording bouts, because I know Chris Anderson's took a step back now, or if you want the interviews for the seniors and that, I'll do what I can, and that's all I can do.
If there's any amateurs you want your bout filmed or out like that, and even if you're thinking about turning pro, or even if you're not, these are the sort of platforms you need to be on to raise your profile.
I'll help you out as much as I can, but
that video you did on me, I think it ended up on about 13,000 views.
There you go.
That's 13,000 people that have watched and now know who sort of I am, even if it's just slightly.
And there's no charge for that. I charge for things that's out of my way, whether it's fuel up and down the A1, and I've offered that price to the same price to the amateurs as I have the pros, as I have the unlicensed. I don't change it for anyone. So all I want and all I ever ask for is money to be paid for, time away from my ben for fuel and my time, and that's it.
But you're investing in your future at the end of the day if boxing's what you want to do.
The announcement videos and the stuff like that, because George needs it at this point in time. We didn't need it for VIP because I did their own, but if you're turning over and that and you need a hand to raise your profile, I'll come and do it for free, because I just want you to do well, and that's it. Nothing more to it, that's it. But there's the next question, who's the boss in the gym? But I think Craig's the boss.
Young Tommy.
Tommy Crow.
He could outdo any of us on a 5k, 10k.
He's going to be somebody.
I interviewed him, and
he's like 12, 13 year old. He's the tiniest little kid, but he's like
he's well spoken, isn't he?
Yeah, he's well spoken. He's a fit kid.
He was someone, the boxing gym. I've known like Tommy's family. My dad's best mates with his dad. Tommy has changed so much since coming into the boxing gym. He used to be such a shy kid. He wouldn't speak. You couldn't get a word out of him. Now he comes in the boxing gym, you can go and have crack with him. It's great. That's something that that's clear evidence of what a boxing gym can do.
He's like a 30-year-old and a little dude. The next one is obviously is Nathan going to box Tommy Hodge, and when? Hopefully, but we don't know.
Hopefully, if we can make it happen. If not, maybe he's down the line. We'll see.
And then, is there anyone in the region that George would like to box as a pro? Ooh. Some of these, I usually say who's asked them, but most of them have been just like fucking no face profile. So
I couldn't actually tell you who's really at my weight. Obviously, I'm hoping to do super welter, which I should be fine for now. But how long I stay at super welter, we don't know. So,
Bo Smith.
Take my job here, John Joe Carrigan.
John Joe can't wait.
He's going to get me back here. No, obviously that's a bit down the line yet, a few years maybe until start looking at Northern Area titles and stuff like that.
A couple of years off it now. There might be loads of different lads about, and some lads
Steve
might have
Woods,
packed
obviously
in.
he's down the country. There might be a chance at a English eliminator or something like that with the lad down there. Like, you just don't really know, do you?
Like I've said before, we're in a region where there's not many lads about, so like, can we try and use the lads around here for sparring and fight someone from out the way, because it's hard getting sparring if you're all going to fight each other. There's no one to spar.
That's right. But the last question that I'd like to finish the podcast on, and I believe you already are successful, just what we spoke about today, not even just in boxing but outside of boxing. Imagine yourself sat here in 5 years time, what would you both have had to have done or achieved in your life to say that you've made it?
British title.
Right.
British title. All day, every day. I think it's as good as a world title. I really do.
Yeah.
So you need to sleep at night knowing what you've done.
Yeah, that's What I'm not bothered about belts, to be fair. I just want to be in good fights, but that British title is just something about it, isn't there? So yeah, for me.
By 5 years' time, I'd love to be on for an English or a British. Yeah, similar things. I'd love, like you've heard me say it before, the traditional route. It's a dream, isn't it? Really.
Northern area, English, British, Commonwealth,
European. And
so you look back in Korea and say, I've done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I just want to have been in good fights.
Yeah.
It's like your goals change, don't they? Like as an amateur, your dream is to win your first fight, then it's to win your first region, then to win your first box cup.
Yeah.
It's the same with the pros. You want to win them. You want to go up in them levels.
Yeah.
So they haven't brought the belts today. They forgot, but hopefully there'll be a few up there when you sat here in 5 year.
Yeah.
And your sign might be actually on the wall.
Has yours changed since last time?
What's that?
Like
5
year?
Yeah. Not really. No. Just
once
to be,
the studio will be in Marbella.
Just to, just be a good dad, active dad. Someone who's watching my son turn into a good kid, and hopefully at his own contract or some kind of something that pays me to do with this job. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do what you love.
What about you, mate?
I want to be able to say I'm a professional boxer, but the most important one is just make my family proud.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But no, that's just about 2 hours. So
we'll get there, boys.
We'll wrap it up there. It's been a privilege having you on, lads. I've obviously wanted to get to know, catch up with you properly. You know, I don't always stay in touch with you, but it's been good to speak to you and have a good catch up. I think people watching is going to enjoy this podcast episode, but
they'll hate it and it'll get no views.
So, this has been episode 5.
I know what you're going to do.
Cheers, lads.
Yeah, I know him.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, mate.
Cheers.
Come on, George.
Thank you very much.
It's been episode 5 of the Bullsh Club podcast. Thank you for watching and
like and subscribe.